Welcome to episode 3 of the Court of Public Fools. I'm Alex. My brother Nick is with me, and my boy Lam is with me. So today we're going to be debating the best football siblings of all time. And what we decided to vote on is the Mannings, in which Lam will be defending, the Kelces, which I'll be defending, and Nick, you're our judge. So, Nick, take it away.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Lam, are you ready?
Yep.
Alex, are you ready?
We're ready.
All right. Alex, you will be defending
the Kelce
Kelces.
brothers.
All right. Lam, you'll be defending the Mannings. And who wants to take it away first? Which one of you feels more confident?
I'll let you go, Lam.
Yeah,
all right.
You're that confident? All right.
All right. Here we go.
That's fine. We'll go with...
Court is now in session.
Perfect. All right, Your Honor. Well, I'd like to present this case here where the Mannings pretty much are... They're not quite the GOAT, but they're definitely on the Mount Rushmore of QBs here. So between the two of them, we're talking about 4 Super Bowl rings, two for each of them. What you got with the Mannings is just you got a legacy, you got the pedigree, you got the lineage, you got their dad playing in the NFL, and it's really come full circle now. So now that they're both retired, they got another one on the way that's running full circle here. So you got another Archie in the family.
To be fair, that Archie is not Eli or Peyton's kid, but rather their nephew. It's the other Mannings kid.
They do share some DNA in there, though. The DNA is there to potentially reignite the NFL again. So,
all right, it's Cooper's kid, though. Just so we're clear,
it is Cooper's kid. We don't talk about Cooper. This is the NFL Mannings, right? And you got the lineage there and the legacy, and I mean, you can't say that about anybody else in the whole NFL, right? Like, you're talking about decades, encompassing decades worth of football, and then the potential is there for the nephew to pick his spot and break into the NFL at some point, right? So, yeah, I'll just start there. Really, it's the Mannings world, and they proved themselves on the highest level, and they showed up for those 4 Super Bowls. Like, the one was back to back, right? So Peyton won in Super Bowl 41, and then Eli won Super Bowl 42. So that was Manning's back to back, and then you had 46 and the big 50 when Peyton was on the Broncos, right? So he won with 2 different teams. That was another pretty great feat that he accomplished in his storied career. So good on Peyton there. But and then also the other thing they both shared was they were both first overall picks. Not sure about the Kelces, but that's for 2 brothers to be picked first overall is pretty good, pretty high accolades there.
Now, so. Eli did weasel his way out of San Diego, but just saying.
Hey, San Diego is he kind of saw the writing on the wall before it even started. Like, it's not the most winningest town, but it's great.
I think he
aspect, but football. Let's just say football is not his pedigree.
I heard he doesn't like the owner, and since the owner's Greek, I feel like that was a strike against Greek people. Wouldn't you agree, Nick?
Personal attack? Was that an Eli personal attack? He kind of threw some baklava, some lamb.
Yeah, I think he was like, gyros suck.
He said it, gyros.
I will not have that in my courtroom.
No throwing of gyros here, but just if it's I don't know. I guess it was owner related, right? But
yeah,
tantrums aside, he still made the right choice because he still ultimately got his rings, and built winning franchises in New York, and got them to the promised land. So, I'll start there. I mean, that's my opening argument for the Mannings. Just the record just kind of shows for itself. How good they are. So,
Alex, do you have any counter arguments?
Counter right now?
I mean, you started off by saying they're not the GOAT, but they're on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks. If Mount Rushmore had like 30 quarterbacks, maybe. I mean, I will put Peyton Amp there, but Eli, the only thing that Eli has is the Manning face, though. When he's got that like upset, that's on the Mount Rushmore faces. But him being on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks, I mean, Brady's the GOAT. Like, no argument there. Then you got Montana. Then you got Manning. Then you could throw in Marino. You could throw in Young. You have to get way down the list before Manning even gets on there. So just to be fair.
No, I mean, you could say they carried their squads. They
top four though. Top four. That's what Mount Rushmore is. 4 people. Not 10, not 15. 4. Like I would. Granted, I live in the land of Ginzers, but Ben was probably better than Eli, and they both have 2 rings too.
How about this? The one head is just one side is Peyton, the other side's Eli. Let's see how.
Oh, so they're going to share a spot. So Peyton's getting hosed then.
Oh, so they get the Batman Forever treatment.
That's right.
All right.
Harvey Dent. But they got no, they belong up there. You could say Montana. I know Marino never won one. He had a great, unbelievable season, but he never won one. I mean, Mahomes is kind of getting there. But
yeah, I didn't even throw him in there yet.
Right,
Mahomes is better than Eli. Listen, I won't argue Peyton, but to say Eli, now you're stretching it there, bud.
Yeah, I mean, Eli carried those teams. Like what the years they went to the Super Bowl, like you can't say it was outright the defense that carried them. It was
no, but might I remind you, Mister, I'm wearing an Eagles shirt. The miracle of the New Meadowlands. Who was the quarterback of the Giants during that game where the Eagles came back? I believe it was 21 points with 8 minutes left to go. Who was the quarterback of that game?
No idea.
I believe his name was Eli Manning.
And was he responsible for that defense imploding against the Eagles?
No, he could have held the ball for 8 minutes, though. They couldn't move the ball that last 8 minutes. It was like, here you go, Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, you can pick and choose any QB's game that really defined the other teams, blowing them out of the water. But for the most part, they still made it down to the stretch, and unlike the Cowboys,
I'm not. I feel like, and I'll give you this argument. I'll defend Eli to a certain degree. Like everybody goes, "Oh, the helmet catch! That was an unbelievable catch by David Tyree." Everybody forgets that Eli literally escaped imminent doom of getting sacked on that play, like for 15-yard loss. Somehow escaped and threw up a nice ball for Tyree to even get to. So credit where credit is due. He's a good quarterback. My argument is he's not top 4 all time. That's it.
Well, in this case, we're arguing against the Kelces here, and I think
that was honorable of you, Alex, to give a positive point to Lom. Well done.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I play fair.
True.
I'm like the guy in basketball when he just hacks the crap out of somebody and he's like, That's foul on me. That's me.
My bad.
Nice.
That's me.
Yeah. Knew what you were doing.
But just in this case here, we're talking about Mannings versus Kelces here, and I mean, I don't even know how you even compare the two, just record and historical wise. Here, it's just you can't match.
Well, we're talking just to make sure we're talking personalities too, right? Like we're
across the board.
the whole
Here.
package, right?
I'm just starting
Okay.
off with
Okay.
numbers and records and accomplishments to start with. Oh, I've
Okay.
got more in the tank. But
I was gonna say with Mannings, there's a road I hope you're going down.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. Good.
yeah, I mean, I can rest my case for not. I don't want to rest my case, but I can keep going, or Alex can.
Let's hear a little.
Please.
Well, if you want to rebut, if you have anything about the Kelces, you kind of want to.
I mean,
bring in football. We could do football versus football, and then move maybe
so
outside.
they both played different positions. Okay, so I mean the Mannings played quarterback, so it's a quarterback league. So everything a quarterback does good is inflated immensely. But there's no arguing that Jason Kelce right now is the best center in the NFL. Many people think he's the best center of all time. Now, I think that's recency bias more than anything, because there have been some great centers that played in the NFL. But certainly he's in that discussion. So apples to apples, Peyton and Jason, I'd say that's a wash. Where the step up is, I don't think Eli's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. But Travis Kelce, newsflash, who has the most receptions in playoff history? Travis Kelce, not Jerry Rice, Travis Kelce. So to me, Travis Kelce's got to be one of the best tight ends to ever played the game too. Is he top 4? Maybe, probably. So when you factor both brothers probably being top 4 in their position all time, it's amazing. And the thing is, the Kelces weren't these unbelievable prospects that everybody was like, oh my God, they're going to be the next best thing. Jason was a 6th round pick and Travis was a 3rd round pick. So there was low expectations on them. So, I mean, Kelce being a 6th round pick, there's no leash like there was on Eli and Peyton. Peyton's own admission had the worst statistical season of a starting quarterback ever his rookie year. I believe he threw 28 interceptions and he's the number 1 pick. So you're not going to be like, well, you suck this year. Peace out. They're going to hold on to him. No, they did the right thing because he had a Hall of Fame career. Mm-hmm. But Kelce, one little mistake as a 6th round pick, you're toast. You don't have a leash there. So he had to fight and claw his whole life to be what he was. He wasn't even recruited as a center. He was recruited as a linebacker to play for the University of Cincinnati. So he went from a linebacker, then he switched to defensive or offensive line. He played guard. He only played center 1 year in college. And then he's become one of the best centers to have ever played the game. So in terms of football acumen, I mean, not that the man, like, we're talking about, like, what type of champagne do you like better? They're both pretty good, but I just think the Kelces are better, football-wise.
Why?
Yeah, I mean,
it's always crazy to me when really, that's where my camera froze.
That's awesome. You're like, oh. You're making the Eli face. It's the Eli face. That's why.
I don't know what happened there. No, I always find it crazy, just throwing this out there, when, people who are really good are like a low draft pick.
Well, to be fair, like,
Or
and this
who
could
I
be
should say
another.
people who end up being really good, because it wasn't
Yeah.
Brady. Like,
Brady was a 6th-round pick as well.
yeah,
So
that's just that kind of stuff always blows me away.
Brady's story is a story for another time, but essentially he was being blocked out by somebody who supposedly had more talent than him. Obviously, that was a no-go. And I think Kelces, they were low picks because they didn't play at a Power 5 school. Professional scouts, I think, at times can be lazy because they're like, look, he goes to a big school. He must be good. And that isn't always the case.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah. No, that's interject anytime. Whatever's relevant to our discussion here. But I mean, the Kelces, yeah, like you said, they definitely had to prove themselves, and they had to kind of hone their craft and hone their skills in the position they kind of fell into after the fact. And yes, the Mannings had to kind of, I mean, they had to sustain their talent and productivity all through college, right? I mean, it's to be drafted first overall, you know, like the microscope was definitely on them the whole time. So, I mean, like you said, that rookie season was crazy bad, but that kind of speaks volumes when he can bounce back like that, ultimately get MVP the next couple of years, and then ultimately get to the Super Bowl. So, you know, two different paths for the Kelces and Mannings, but you know, they just kind of showed their greatness in different ways in their positions. So,
no argument that both sets of brothers are great. I'm just, if I have to pick which one was more successful as a whole, I'd have to go with the Kelces.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I mean, that's all I got on the football stance. And then if there's stuff you want to continue on there.
No, I think I said my piece. Kelces are better. Mannings suck.
Yeah. I'll give you guys that. That was a tough one to argue, the football, just being different positions. So I give you guys a lot of credit. Now comes the fun part. Outside of football.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm excited.
Kelces are relevant now outside of football, more so, right? But the Mannings kind of set the bar there as far as personalities go, being the everyman, relatable in a lot of ways. You have 2 SNL appearances, one from each of them. So they each have an SNL appearance under their belt. The Manning cast has been going on for a couple years now on you know, predating whatever podcast is, you know, the rinky dink operation the Kelces have set up.
The rinky dink, the #1 podcast on like 3 different platforms in the United States. The rinky dink. Yes, you're right.
Versus a.
That's because how many Taylor Swift fans are listening?
You know. Yeah, I mean, you know, the Mannings got that that Southern goofball charm a bit, and they got the relatability on the. They got charisma, they got charm there. They can like roll out and wear like old man tennis shoes and slacks and just be like, you used to be a football player? Yeah, okay. They just are relatable in that way that they don't look like NFL superstars that won Super Bowls, and you know, they can just throw up charisma and just kind of likability in that way. Yeah, and then, you know, their branding went a long way. That they were in a ton of commercials and advertisements. Even still, I think Peyton still, you know, he still puts out a bunch of commercials. So
he did nationwide for a while.
Nationwide, yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh, Omaha.
King of the audibles.
I'm surprised he didn't do advertisement for Omaha Steaks. I mean, that's just a misbranding opportunity right there, quite frankly.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, but no, that's my spiel on the Mannings pop culture relatability. I mean, they've had more time to kind of gestate and kind of hone their
Wait. So you're talking about relatability, right?
yeah, sure. That's what I got.
Is anything more relatable than this guy right here? I mean, look at that.
I knew this was
That man
coming.
is in all his glory. And he doesn't give two craps what people have to say because he's sitting there drinking a Bud Light and watching his brother play football. If that's not every man, then I don't know what is.
Every man the first few years of college before they pick their major and pick their frat.
I'm not saying I do that now, but to say that isn't relatable, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I have. I'm not saying I haven't.
that is correct. There's no Bible upon which I have to swear my testimony be truthful.
Nice.
I will admit to throwing couch cushions in a similar state as Jason Kelce at that point. I will admit to that.
Jason Cushy.
But I mean, they have the number one podcast. Can the Manning cast say it's the number one sports show on TV? No. Okay. In terms of SNL, they really both hosted I mean, Travis is the one that got the billing, but they were both on the they were both in that episode all over the place. And that commercial where the NFL is where you're renting a boyfriend, I mean, that was just priceless. Where like want to get thrown around by Jason Kelce, and he's like picking up the guy's girlfriend because he was too scrawny. I mean, that was good stuff. That was gold. That was comedic gold.
All right.
So
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of marketability, I mean, you got Travis is doing a lot of commercials with the I think he's on DirecTV, and then he's State Farm because he's Mahado instead of Mahomes, you know, Mahado. So and I mean there's definitely a bromance between Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, like to the point where literally Tyreek Hill says that's why he wanted to leave Kansas City because he couldn't do anything to get into that bromance. I guess he wanted a triangle bromance, and they were like, no triangles here.
Alex, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Just because I'm curious. Do you think? Obviously, people have known the Kelces for a while. Do you think they would be as popular if it wasn't for Taylor Swift?
Yes. Now,
as popular, not popular, but as popular as they are today.
Oh, Taylor Swift has taken them to another level. That right. I will say. But I think what really propelled them in this stratosphere that they are so marketable now is last year's Super Bowl. They took an opportunity where no brothers have ever played each other in the Super Bowl. Brothers have coached each other against each other in the Super Bowl, but never had two brothers played each other in a Super Bowl. And they took that ability of what happened to them and they launched it up to another level. Like the Kelce documentary for the longest time was the most popular thing on Amazon Prime. Like an a documentary about an offensive lineman. And let's think about that for a second. But that's how relatable and how marketable he is.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know how hard it is to be the number one most watched on Prime. Their options aren't that great. Just saying.
Well, I think Amazon Prime, they had to put it on Amazon Prime because the NFL has a contract with Amazon Prime. So
I know. I'm
it's
just
not
saying.
like he could have just been like, you know what? Screw you, Prime. I'm going on Netflix. Like, that's not how it works.
When Prime is like number 4 most streamed movie is Entrapment, and it's like, okay.
Was it Catherine Zeta-Jones and Sean Connery?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's terrible.
I think that played on our plane trip to Greece in 1999. So.
Can't argue with the Zeta-Jones.
That's true. And Mr. Connery. How can you argue with Mr. Connery?
That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, I do think the Taylor Swift thing has propelled the Kelces into another level. Like, there are people who are paying attention to football strictly because Travis Kelce dates Taylor Swift. So
yeah.
I don't know if you knew this or not. So, because they talked about this on the podcast. And in case you didn't know, New Heights Podcast is the number one podcast on, I believe, 3 major podcast platforms. But the Kelce podcast they were talking about, and then before it was announced that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were dating, do you know who the number 1 jersey to women was in the NFL? The number 1 selling jersey to women.
Before Taylor Swift?
Yes.
David Akers.
Nick, name 5 people in the NFL currently.
I'm just kidding.
That's great.
Obviously, I'm kidding. I just remember a lot of girls buying his jersey years ago.
It's clutch.
Jason Kelce. Yes, Mr. One of the sexiest men alive. Okay. After it was announced that Travis Kelce was dating Taylor Swift, do you know who became number 1? Travis Kelce. So number 1 and number 2 sales of jerseys amongst women, Jason Kelce, Travis Kelce.
I was waiting to see how this was all quantified, like the Taylor Swift effect. So at least there's.
Oh, it launched him to another stratosphere. I'm actually surprised he's not on more commercials, and I think only because he's only been dating her during football season. Like, there's only so much time to do all that stuff during football season.
Yeah.
So if this was announced in like March or April, he would have been all over the TV without question. And I think at the end of the season, he will be.
I can't imagine when the breakup happens, like how much.
What are you talking about, the breakup?
The breakup.
That's what I've been saying.
They're
That's what
in
I've
love.
been saying.
What are you talking about? I love you, Travis. That's what she said when they were celebrating the AFC Championship game.
So that's what I was thinking too. When the breakup, if and when the breakup happens, there you go. I'll say if.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then she makes an album about him. It's always how that works. Is he going to have a lot of enemies?
No.
I'm curious. I was wondering that if it happens,
Well,
will he end up with?
If it happens, what are you talking about? Taylor is tight is tight with Donna. Donna Kelce, the mother of all mothers in the NFL, is tight with Taylor's not going anywhere. Taylor is firmly entrenched in the Kelce family.
You're on the brink of going into the leave Britney alone spiel right here.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh my gosh.
Leave Britney alone.
Do I need my knife to spin around like Dimitri had at Halloween?
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah. You need to color your hair blonde.
Leave Britney alone.
Excellent. Yes. You really are really knocking on that door, though. He's right.
but in all seriousness, though, like without question, like Taylor Swift and her Swifties have propelled him to a level that I can't think of another NFL player that got to that level. And I don't mean like amongst football fans. I'm talking about amongst non-football fans. Like maybe Joe Namath. Maybe.
That type of celebrity. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's so recognizable outside of football fans now. And football, that's the thing about football, because football players wear helmets. Most football players aren't as recognizable. Like,
I don't know why that sounded ridiculous.
What?
Because football players wear helmets.
Well, because in every other sport, your face is visible.
No, I know. It's just the way you were. It's just the way you said it for some reason.
So I'll give you a story. So a friend of mine and her and I were at it was Grape Street.
Does this relate to your argument?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to show how marketable football players are. So a friend of mine were at Grape Street in Mannings, and it was an opening of Y100. That's how long ago it was. Y100 had they used to put out these CDs that would they're Sonic sessions. Isn't that what they were called? The Sonic sessions?
Yeah.
So it was a Sonic session, and then they also had it was one of their people on it was on the Preston and Steve show when they were still on Y100, and they were they'd done like a prank episode, and anyway, we're at this opening, and I'm at the bar, and I'm sitting there going to buy a beverage of the adult variety, and I look to my left, and my friend I'm with, she's like, "Wow, that guy's huge. He should be a football player." And I'm like, "It is a football player." And she's like, "What do you mean?" Now, the person I was with was a football fan. And she's like, "Well, who is it?" I was like, "That's John Runyon." And she goes, "Oh, well, I didn't recognize him." I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry. He doesn't wear his number 69 jersey everywhere he goes."
Yeah.
But that's the idea, though. Like, if a basketball player who wasn't like a star, like a 76, like if Tobias Harris was out, people would know who he is because you see his face. Whereas a professional football player, because of the helmet, they don't get as much time of their actual face as you would, unless you're a quarterback. So Travis Kelce has stepped beyond that as a non-quarterback to be popular outside of the NFL and its fan base. That's the point of my tangent there.
Okay. I saw an article that was weird earlier talking about the Kelce cut, and it's just it's a fade. It's a haircut, and it's just a fade.
Oh yeah.
But they're making it sound like he invented it. That kind of annoyed me because I'm like, no,
yeah, like
stop trying to make
not every boy in the early 2000s had that haircut.
Right?
I mean, let's be realistic.
At least his hair's not parted in the middle. Then they'd be the Kelce part. Like, I don't know, but I just thought that I'm not gonna lie, that annoyed me when I saw that. I'm like, oh, it just felt like stop trying to force things.
Yeah.
So they actually
Sorry.
called his haircut the Kelce fade.
It was like the Kelsey cut or something like that. Yeah, it was some article that basically made it sound like it was his style, which I don't think he tried to sell it as that. I think it's
No.
just articles looking for
I,
clickbait.
I don't even think he
I proudly
fully
didn't click on it
grasped.
though. It was somebody on Instagram complaining about the article. So
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think he realized, even though he knew Taylor Swift was a big fan, like a big celebrity. I don't think he realized what was going to happen when they started going out. And apparently, the story is because he talked about it on his on the podcast before they were announced as dating. So I guess she does these like bracelets that she gives out to people or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so apparently he wanted to give her a bracelet before her concert in Kansas City. And so when he went to go do that, security intervened and wouldn't allow him to do that. So he talked about it on the podcast, that how he was stopped about giving her a friendship bracelet. And then
you know
soon
what they
after
wouldn't
that,
have stopped him for?
what?
Buddy bands. Do you remember
Thank
what I'm
you.
talking about?
Thank you, Zach and Kelly.
No, that was AC Slater.
Was that AC? That's right. AC was the one who came up with it.
Yeah, because they were doing friendship bracelets, and then
Buddy
Zach
bands.
was making them work all the time. Like, this isn't fun anymore, Preppy. And then they did buddy bands.
That's right. That's right.
Security would have let him through for those.
Nice.
You're right. Buddy bands. Travis, if you're listening, you should have done a buddy band.
Mm-hmm. Buddy bands are where it's at.
So I think, in all seriousness, I don't think he knew the gravity of where he was going to go in the pantheon of non-football fans when he did that. Even though there had to have been a small part of him that was going to realize that he was going to become a bigger star. But I don't even think he fully grasped where he was going to go from there.
It's a fair argument.
Can't argue that.
I don't see the Mannings wives, being a top pop musician selling out concerts all over the world.
Keyword selling out. Just kidding.
I don't even know who their wives are.
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
But the Mannings make up for that just because they have some of the most recognizable faces you could see on TV and anywhere, regardless of their helmets or not. But
it's because no helmet can possibly hold in that forehead of Peyton's. That's why.
The forehead and the nose of Eli. Yeah, very distinguishable.
But the amount of airtime that a quarterback gets as opposed to a non-quarterback, a skill position is Travis, but an offensive lineman is not. It's not. Jason's an offensive lineman. The amount of airtime that those two would get just because they were quarterbacks is much, much greater. You go to a sideline shot, you almost always show the quarterback. Oh, they went 3 and out. Let's see what the quarterback has to say. I'm mad. I'm going to throw my helmet down. I'm mad. I'm going to yell at people. So the fact that them not being in the glory position and them getting the exposure that they get, I think, is a bigger deal than 2 quarterbacks. I mean, so I live in Pittsburgh. You guys know that, but people that listen to this might not know that. I live in Pittsburgh, and Kenny Pickett sucks. And you know how many commercials I turn on the TV and I watch like local commercials with Kenny Pickett? And I'm like, dude, that guy's hot garbage. Like, why is he getting like the airtime that he gets? strictly because he's a quarterback. That's it.
Face of the franchise. You got to designate somebody. So, I mean, I I think Andy Reid's done the most commercials out of any coach in history, right? Like that's
He's
something
got to
that's
be up
amazing.
there. Yeah, he's got to be up there.
All of a sudden, he's just doing every commercial out there. So
That's because Andy Reid's awesome.
Never did one for the Rib House. I feel like you should have.
He should have.
yeah,
I don't know if you knew this, Lam, or not, but he was a frequenter of the Bridgeport Reb House when he was the Eagles coach.
was he? No.
Oh, yeah.
Completely new to me. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. It got to the point where I'm sure there was a significant drop in their sales when his family left.
Red left. It all makes
They
sense.
were like, "We're not going to make it. We can't survive."
It makes sense now in his contract to go to the place that has more ribs for him, better ribs.
I swear he signed the contract because it's like that NFL commercial where it's like where they put chefs in the end zone. He misread the team name. He was like, Kansas City Chefs. I'm just going to go there and eat all the time. This is amazing. Love you, Big Red. Love you, Big Red.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Let's are you done with your arguments?
I mean, I think so. I mean, what else do I have to say? I mean, they're unbelievably relatable. I think so, and they're mega stars in positions that aren't normally known as mega stars.
Wow.
Their personalities do precede them, I would say.
I mean, to be fair, I think Jason is more relatable than Travis. Travis can be a little douchey sometimes.
But you have that counterplay dynamic because one's
Yeah.
like a dad. He's
But
got the
it's
dad
just like
going.
just like the Mannings. Like who's the more who gets more attention is Peyton.
Yeah.
Not that Eli sucks. It's just one of them's going to be better. And I think in that case, Travis is not as I think outside of the Taylor Swift fandom, in terms of like football fans, I think more people like Jason Kelce. And maybe it's because I'm an Eagles fan, but you know,
And
Jason Kelce's a man.
And he gave the greatest Super Bowl speech of all time.
The greatest Super Bowl speech of all time. And the greatest Super Bowl parade outfit of all time.
Yes. Yep.
Nice. Do you rest?
Hold on.
Oh,
Just so
right.
we have, because, you know, we have to see this. Otherwise, it's no good. Hold on. Share.
I think everybody knows it, though.
Look at that. Look at that majestic outfit. Look at that beautiful, beautiful outfit.
It's
the Mummers outfit. If that's not a man that understands his fan base, I don't know who does.
I love that speech and outfit, but it does remind me of like Aladdin 2 with the Sultan.
Oh, wow. Yeah. He's Jafar.
Oh my God.
No, he's Prince Ali. Isn't that what he wears when he gets it's white, but it's the same kind of outfit when the genie makes him a prince. Prince Ali.
Oh yeah, Jasmine's dad wears the same thing, the king.
Yeah.
I guess he's not Jafar. You're right. That is more Prince Ali.
I mean, he's Prince Ali.
Clearly, I need to brush up on my Aladdin.
But really, he's the street rat, riffraff. I don't buy that.
Nice.
He's Philly born, so he's the riffraff.
All right. So, you guys presented good cases. I'm not going to lie, this is way more difficult than I expected it to be. You made really good points, especially considering the fact that they are completely... I was curious where we go because they're completely different positions. So the football aspect, I was curious how your arguments would go. It was pretty interesting, but I felt like the bulk of this was going to be outside of football. I felt like that's where the real comparison had to be because of there being different positions. Where I'm personally, I'm not going to lie, I'm having trouble right now deciding because part of me feels like making yourself, I don't want to say relatable, like you said, Jason Kelce seems more like, I don't know, one of the guys. Like he just seems like he could just fit in a crowd hanging out.
And that's how he is at Sea Isle City every summer.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear. Ocean Drive, having boat races with people. So
I'm just saying that he seems like he could, like I don't really know much with Travis Kelce. Just not being here, I don't Jason Kelce, I see things. So but what I'm curious about is does where we're at this point with the internet and social media make it easier for them to relate to people and be out there versus think about the Mannings. Eli was okay. We all know Peyton's the funny one. Peyton's the
yes.
funny one. So
Yes.
we know this was basically Peyton Manning versus Jason Kelce. Not quite, but it kind of was.
Yeah,
And
United Way, Saturday Night Live, United
yes,
Way,
and
which
that is, I feel like, the biggest thing for me making this decision so difficult because that to me is one of the best skits. Nothing the Kelces could do on SNL can top that. That United Way was amazing. And though Lom didn't say it specifically, he said SNL, so that counts.
Nice. All right.
That counts as part of his argument. But yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble because part of me is feeling like the Mannings you don't really see much anymore. Kelces are today. You see them everywhere. So I could, So this one I'm having a lot of trouble.
I mean, these debates you can't just always bring to the forefront of the public, like what is current. A lot of these arguments are going to be of past performances and the impact of past years too. So
I will not be told how to decide things in my courtroom.
I'm sorry.
Your Honor, I would never dare do that to you.
I don't like your tone. Don't patronize me. Just for that, you're dinged as well. So you're back to even. Thanks. I thought you were about to win, but now I don't know. No, so that's the part that I'm actually truly having trouble with is the era of now versus Peyton Manning's. It just times were different, things were different, and I feel like from a popularity standpoint, I feel like the Kelces, from the amount of people, are more popular from the amount of people. But I feel like Peyton Manning was funny to multiple generations, more so. Like I don't think older people care as much about the Kelces, but yet I feel like older people and younger found Peyton Manning funny and relatable.
Old people like to drink too.
But that said, since it was brothers versus brothers, I have to go with the Kelces because I feel like people don't care about Eli as much. So
yes, Eli is the weak link.
Always the scapegoat.
I know. That one, I'm not going to lie, I went a different direction than I expected. But Alex did bring up some really good points, and I had to think about the whole picture of both brothers versus both brothers. And we all know,
baby.
We all know Peyton carries those two.
So I tried to watch I watch Peyton's Places on ESPN Plus, and if you want to talk about a streaming platform that nobody watches, ESPN Plus has to be one of them. So I watched Peyton Places, and it's pretty good. And then I tried to watch Eli's Places, and I was like, "Oh my God, Eli, you are terrible. Just stop."
Yeah.
Like the first couple episodes, he had to do it with Peyton, so he would gain credibility. They thought.
Yeah, because that's the problem. You both made really good points. Lam, you definitely brought good points, and I felt like with Eli, other than mentioning he beat Tom Brady twice, which everybody loved. Don't get me wrong, I felt like he doesn't really bring anything else to the table. That's what made it difficult. Peyton, I always thought he was awesome, but yeah, I had since it was both versus both, I had to
Did
go with
Eli
Kelces.
host? Eli hosted Saturday Night Live. I don't remember.
He hosted.
I think after they won the Super Bowl.
See,
Yeah.
that's
I
how
wanna say.
unmemorable it was. He was. I don't
He had
even
a-
remember it.
He had a courtroom skit too. There was his memorable skit was like this one like in the
It was Court of Public Fools. No, I'm just kidding.
Crap.
shoot. We gotta go back to that episode. No, but yeah, that was his claim to the funny fame was that one skit. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I guess if you're aggregating
Oh, the embarrassing text.
the embarrassing text, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I
That's
vaguely
right.
remember it, but
Yes,
not like
yes.
like United Way. I can still see
Oh
it.
my God.
Right.
Get open. You fuck.
What? What did I tell you? Get in the porta john. Close the door.
So
And then
good.
he's like tattooing the guy, Peyton Manning face with #1 fan. This is gonna be there forever.
That was so good.
I thought if this is your key, if this is your car, why do we have to break into it? I told you I locked my keys in the car. Woo, cops! Every man for himself. Oh my
man.
God, it's so good. Yeah, without question, he's definitely pulling the weight. I honestly think Jason and Peyton were the wash. I think Travis is the one that pulled the victory, if I may say so.
Okay. I could see that.
Strictly the Swifties pushes them over for the win. That's like the tush push.
Yeah.
Tush push equivalent.
For me, it was the other way, but I think it's just because Jason playing for the Eagles. But that's not what swayed my decision. But I felt like I know more about Jason than I do Travis. But again, I think that's just from him playing for the Eagles. I see more about him.
It's because we hate the Giants.
No bias.
Right. Now but honestly, this one, this was a tough one. Like I said, I really do think if Eli was as funny as Peyton, no brainer, I would have gone that direction.
Yeah.
But it was tough. Like I said, him leading the Giants to beating the Patriots twice, that's a big feather in his cap. That's a big one. That's a big one. But I felt like that's all. Other than that, he didn't really bring anything to the table. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
By the way, I
So-
believe Mr. Top 4 quarterbacks ever, I believe his win-loss record is equal. His wins equals the amount of losses he has. He's a 500 quarterback.
Yeah, it doesn't
With
matter.
2 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, at
It's
that
true.
point, he knew,
And they were both
he knew-
upsets.
Yeah.
You know who
Those
else
losing
has a
seasons
Super
were
Bowl
just kinda
ring?
like- what's that?
Nick Foles.
Don't get me started on that. Everybody argued me.
I think
I said Wentz never should. I said he had to go. Everybody argued me. Who was right? I was right. Should have looked at it through my perspective.
piggybacking off this topic, I think the next podcast should be the brothers debating. on a
Oh,
topic that has not
Okay.
been done yet.
We
I
will
can
come up
buy
with some
that.
ideas.
All right, so I guess that's the that ends our episode, right?
Court is
So
adjourned.
episode 3 in the books. I am victorious again because this is literally my idea of a podcast, and I'm literally the goat of the Court of Public Fools. So
Well, brace
till
yourself.
till till next time, guys. Catch you later.
See it.
All right.